Hey guys, it's Allison at Common Ground Gardens, and I thought I'd make a video today about why I garden even though I'm sick. So people ask me this a lot, so let's talk about that today. So my friends know this, and I do have it written in my description, but let me tell you what's wrong with me. I have two chronic pain conditions. I have fibromyalgia, which I've had for like 10 years now. That to me is really the tough one because I'm exhausted. I just have no energy. I sleep 12 hours out of every 24, and that's in the summer when I'm feeling good. So fibromyalgia causes a lot of chronic pain, so you have to take care of yourself. But then on top of that, I have psoriatic arthritis, so that's a pretty painful thing. I get locked up, can't exercise or lift things the way I used to. And so a lot of people ask me, why do you garden? Why do you have such a big garden? Why do you do this? And I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and there's two reasons. One is good food is a top priority for us to maintain our health. My husband has a ton of food sensitivities. He can't just eat whatever, and then eating healthy makes me feel better. And so I love to grow it, can't stay out of the yard, kind of runs in the family. So I'm definitely going to keep on gardening as long as I can walk. Well, probably even after I can't walk, because there's plenty of stuff you could do, even if you're in a wheelchair. But the second real reason that I always keep gardening is just joy. I love it. I love to be outside. I love to grow things. Every single spring, and then I put a teeny little seed in the ground, and it grows up to make a zucchini plant that produces 50 pounds of food, and all I had to do is keep it watered. Super happy. I'll never get over it. It's a miracle, and I love it, and I'll never get tired of it. So let's talk about some of the things that I've done to make gardening easier, even though I struggle with my health. And there's several things. First of all, I talk about this all the time, is I get help. I have my family, and they help me. I figured there's three hardest things for me in the garden. Digging, I can't dig, so I don't. If I could do it again, I'd have a no-dig garden. I might talk about that in a separate video. But one of the biggest mistakes we did when we first started our garden is we plowed up the lawn. And I wish I had never, ever done that. Just look up no-dig gardening methods. There is a ton on YouTube, and other people can explain it better than me. But we add compost every year on top of the beds, and instead of digging. We don't dig or plow. So no digging for me. If I need something dug, let's say I need a tree planted or something, I ask for help. The other two things is like a mantra for me, and I tell all of my friends, you don't have to be sick for this. This is a great thing to do if you work all the time, or you're raising kids, or now everybody's having to homeschool their kids plus work, so everybody's doing everything. Cover your soil either with mulch or plastic. Cover it up. The earthworms love it, and it retains the moisture. So this year I've got real heavy black plastic on. It's like a gardening fabric is what it's actually called. Professional grade, not weed block. It's like the real landscaping stuff. And most years I use mulch. I use grass clippings, and then I also use the hay that I pull out of the chicken pen. And actually I kind of feel like I prefer that. I really do. I might go back to that next year. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, so what that does is in the spring I have to weed, then I cover up the soil, and I don't have to weed anymore. I haven't spent a minute weeding in the last 2 months. I don't have to do that. And that's something that spoils the joy of a garden. So now my sister was like, you should make a video about how you don't have any weeds. And I was like, no, I'm just not showing you the weeds. I have lots of weeds around the garden. So we're working on that. I got some ideas. And it is one of the reasons we got the goats. But in the garden, I have, you've seen it, I have raised beds, mulched paths. I cover the soil with a mulch or plastic, and then I use drip hoses. And all my drip hoses are connected in one spot. So even if I'm miserable and can't get out of bed and it's a watering day, all I have to do, open the door, turn on the hose, the drip hoses drip for an hour or two, probably 2, and that's it. I'm telling you, it is no work. It's the best investment if you're busy. Everyone plants a garden in the spring and then they don't have any time to water it and weed it. And then everything dies and then they're like, gardening's stupid. So if you could just do these things, you have a raised bed, cover the soil and have irrigation. And if you're extra fancy, you could put a timer on your irrigation hoses and then you don't even have to think about it. My hose bib won't fit a timer on it because it's an old house and it's too low to the ground. But anyway, if you could do those things, that makes everything easier. The other thing I do is I'm a list person because I'm really forgetful, especially now because of the fibromyalgia. So I keep, this is my life book here. I keep lists of everything that I have to do. So I have a big to-do list. I just add things like, you know, plant out the broccoli or pick the tomatoes, or it's time to fertilize, and I just work my way down. I don't get everything done every day. That's fine. I'm sick. It doesn't matter. Sometimes things die. It happens. It's fine. I prefer that they live, but anyway, write it all down. And it also, when you write everything down, it helps me keep track of when I do need help. So I try not to ask for help very often, but when someone offers, I know what I need. I'll be like, I need this dug and this dug. Or, as any of you know, if you come over to my house, I will ask you to lift a bag of feed out of my car and bring it back to the chicken coop, because I really struggle with the 50-pound bags of feed. So every time a friend comes over, I like shamelessly be like, oh, can you carry the chicken feed back for me? So yeah. But you know, in return, I'm gonna give you a basket of vegetables. So, you know, I feel like it's fair trade-off. I don't know, maybe all my friends hate me. But anyway, those are the things that I do in order to maintain my joy in gardening, and I have no plans on giving it up. The things that I do is also, if I don't feel good, I don't worry about it. I'm done punishing myself for being sick. I didn't make myself sick, and I do everything I can to feel better. So, you know, there are definitely days where I don't get up. There's days where I don't come outside except for to feed the animals. And I just let that be. I'm at peace with it. As long as I'm working hard to maintain my health, then I'm not gonna beat myself up for not being out here weeding. And so mainly, this is where do we at? End of August. So it's a huge booming time in the garden. I come out a couple times a week and I pick and I show you guys, and I come out every day to play with the animals and give them treats and feed them, make sure everybody has water. But all those things, this is just, it's a happy place. It's not a super hard workplace. We don't depend on what I produce to live. You know, I could still go to the store if I have to. So those are the reasons why I keep gardening and the things that I do to make things easier on me. So if you guys can work in even one of those tips, it will increase your joy in gardening. I recommend raised beds. I have another video about that. It's for my area. If I could do it again, I'd have even deeper beds, like Jess over at Roots and Refuge. I love her beds. So if you could figure out tips that would help you where you're at, cover your soil, do the irrigation, have raised beds, and no dig, all these things make it easier on you, and maybe you can garden. So I want you guys to go out there and give it a shot. If you need any more help, just go ahead and comment. I'll try and respond, and I appreciate you guys. And just remember, life's a garden. Dig it. I don't think it's that bad. I know your bowl's a little empty, but wow. Are you starving? I think you could do with a little fasting. It's been like half a day.